Hello Saberland, Vader's Vault here, showing off a new saber out of the vault. If it looks familiar, it's because we have done one extremely similar to it last year for Nartulis of the FX Sabers forum. His saber was called Heretic. It was based heavily on the concept art for the new Star Wars The Old Republic MMORPG game that is coming out in December. This saber was a twin to that one. We were working on it at the same time as his. He had modified his concept as he wanted a rear grip that he felt would be more comfortable for him. Our rear grip we actually did to mimic and be accurate to the concept art, which had a raised black grip strips on the rear of the saber. Just like the previous saber, we tried to be as faithful to the original design as possible with the different topography of the saber, the pyramid or trapezoidal control box with light bar, the heavily vented emitter. It's got a blade plug in it right now. I'll take that out in just a second. Put it in the same position that it's on the drawing so you guys can compare. Certain things had to be scaled, of course, to make it work in the real world, but I do believe it is quite faithful to the original design. It's very, very, very heavy, and I'll get into why that is in just a moment, but it is probably one of the heaviest sabers we've ever done, and it's really not even that large. It's just about 10.5 inches from emitter to tail. Very complex build. We've been working on it now, like I said, since last year. It's been put to the wayside. We put it down and pick it up in between other things. We were getting it just finished up about a month or so ago when a customer, Muftak from the FX Sabers forums, contacted us to ask if we had anything getting ready to go up for sale or available, and we told him about this, and he snagged it before we could put it up on the forums. So congratulations to him. He's getting quite a saber in this one. It is, of course, sporting a Plector Labs Crystal Focus version 5, igniting a lead engine 10-watt RGGB. The saber's name is Astus Bellator. It means cunning warrior in Latin. We chose that name because this saber is part of the concept art for the Sith selection of sabers. It's part of the build-up for the Sith warrior. When you see that demo video and the concept art on the TOR site. The reason why we use an RGGB is because every time we do this saber, it seems that it gets stuck with a Jedi color, even though it's a Sith saber, but the design does lend itself perfectly to either camp. It could go either be a nice Sith saber or a Jedi Knight saber. But the RGGB we have is mixed for a beautiful cyan, so it's a very bright, very nice bin 1 type cyan with an orangish clash for a nice dynamic contrast in colors there. The bar graph on this one is a little different than last time. Last time we were pretty new to soldering SMD components. That was over a year ago. So it had a regular 7-segment, 7 SMD LED bar graph. This time I was able to squeeze 14 SMD LEDs into the bar graph, 2 for each segment. So it is extremely bright, blindingly bright. So it's very awesome. I've had lots of practice. And of course here on the side of these little wings on the control box on either side, we have the switches. This one being the activation switch. I don't know if you can see it on camera there. It's just a machined aluminum switch hat, an idea we took quite a while back from our Starkiller run that Ace Rocket did for us. Just sticking out enough for you to actuate the switch, but not so much where they get in the way. Very elegant looking, very functional, very practical. And the real star of this saber, and the reason why it's so heavy, is that we wanted to make this saber a reveal saber. We wanted something to show off, not only on the outside, but on the inside. A lot of our sabers are quite functional in that we build an extremely elegant outside, and the insides are very usable, very practical, they're sturdy, they're secure. When we use the high-end soundboards, they're usually quite accessible. But we've never done anything that was a real fancy chassis or interior like some of our peers have done. And it's just been something that's itched at me, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. So with this saber, I had the opportunity to take the time over the last year plus to get it right. And you access it by unscrewing the entire rear section of the saber, carefully sliding it off, and there we have the internal chassis made of machined aluminum discs and standoffs with copper and brass tubing hiding both the batteries and all the wiring. And back here we have the Crystal Focus V5 nestled right in there. And right in front of that we've got the beautiful Aqua Aura quartz. It's actually being backlit by a aqua LED when the blade is on. And then I originally, when I was building the saber, didn't account for the fact that once I got the Crystal Focus in there, I wouldn't be able to move the board at all to access the SD card. So I needed a way to access the SD card. And so I used these hinged spacers here to swivel the whole speaker mount down. And it's locked right now, but all I have to do is give it a little quarter turn and it frees up the hinge. And then I just bend it down and I get full free access to the SD card without having to move any wires, move any sled, anything. It's a beautiful, secure, sturdy system. I can do what I want with the SD card, put it back in, flip that up, give it a nice quarter turn back, and it's again locked. It's a great setup, and I'm very happy with it, very proud with the way it turned out. Very elegant looking, functional looking chassis. Everything is as hidden as I can get it. You don't see the battery pack, you don't see the majority of the wiring. I've got 17 wires going back and forth from the hilt controlling the LEDs, the switches, the power extender, the LED, and it's all very tidy, very nice and hidden. Might as well get it powered on so you guys can see how it looks. I'm going to first show what it looks like with the crystal lit up, and then put the grip back on so I can get the proper resonance here. Take out the blade plug. I machined it to kind of match the outer profile. It tapers to an end with a crystal point that also lights up with the main blade. And then we have Mad Cow's Korriban Soundfont based on Dooku from episode 2. As you can see, that's an extremely bright bar graph. It kind of floods out that whole top bar. There it goes into standby mode with the indicator LED flashing, and looks very much like the concept art with that whole top bar flooded. And let me get a blade and turn the lights out. We got the sequence bar graph doing its thing there, counting down. It's a beautiful thing to watch. It's also very practical. In standby, it actually serves as your battery indicator, battery level indicator, sorry. Also serves to show what sound bank you're on by what LED bank is lit up. And very nice, very elegant, very fun to watch. We've got the Aqua Aura quartz here, being backlit by that Aqua LED with a perfect blade color match of the nice cyan color that we're getting out of the blade. Got it on a sort of a heavy pulse there. And the heavy venting in the emitter, letting all that nice light shine through. Very cool. And of course, the flash on clash. Like a whitish orange flash. Very movie-like, actually. Very cool. Alright. Let me get the lights back on. I'll go over a few of the other things. This saber, like the previous version, had the 10-foot weathering technique done to it. And if you're not familiar with our sabers, the 10-foot weathering means that from 10 feet away it looks like brand new, nice, shiny, polished saber. But as you get close to it, you see that it's got some signs of wear It looks well maintained, but it looks like a weapon of war, something that gets used and handled daily, and which it does. Very subtle weathering techniques, just some bits and pieces here and there, just where things would accumulate or stain. Nothing major, no huge dings or dents or anything like that, but something that looks well taken care of, but used. That is our Astus Bellator, in homage to the SWTOR game coming out in December. And we appreciate Muftak picking this up off of us. Very happy with it. Hopefully he'll be happy with it too. Thanks again from the vault. Have a good one.